Greenlands, and for a real change, we are going to start off by selling some fertilizer. Yeah, I know we have to do this a lot. I could probably do with just adding a bulk silo at the farm that I could just store this stuff in until the end, and we could just do a huge sell off. I might do that. I just want to spend cash at this point if I don't have to, although I'm going to spend some today. Anyway, £250,000 from selling fertilizer, which is always nice, you know. I think I said in the last video, the poplars are finally ready. I really get why this crop is not popular, yeah, something, because it sucks. It takes forever to grow. I am going to use the forage harvest header for poplar, just for speed purposes. So I'm just trying to think about my video schedule. So in tomorrow's video, depending on if you watch this on release day, I'll be using the sugarcane one to harvest sugarcane, which is kind of unfortunate timing, but you know, it is what it is. I'm going to lease a dolly so that we can pull a trailer behind us. I think that will just make life so much easier. I've got the big 82 squared studios bulk trailer, so the 250,000 litre trailer. And yeah, I just thought this would be a nice, easy way to get these poplars harvested after waiting so long. I actually thought they would never get ready to harvest. I looked at them a couple of videos ago, and they were on growth state 13 of 13, and there should be 15. 14 should be harvest ready, 15 should be withered, I think. And yeah, it was just me misunderstanding how the additional field info mod shows the growth states, and it did finally transition. But you know, we are nearly 2 years into this save, and I planted those pretty early on. Maybe not in the first months, but I think probably after the initial harvest. So, you know, it's an insane amount of time to grow. And so I'm running my geo on here, but I didn't change poplars at all. So that is how giants want poplars to be. They want them to take your field up for the best part of 2 years to get some wood chips. You get a lot of wood chips, but I don't know in the real world how long it takes for poplars to grow. Whilst we're chatting, I could actually have a look at that, because that would kind of be interesting. So let's Google that. So how long do poplars take to grow? Okay, so they get between 3 and 5 feet of new growth a year. I guess those are between about 3 and 5 feet. So to me, shouldn't take nearly 2 years to grow. I don't believe the regrowth will be any quicker, but they feel like they should be a crop you can harvest every year, I think. Maybe we could do a mini series on poplars. How popular would poplar be? I really suck at that joke. Such a dad joke. I know. Can you imagine as well doing this with the actual base game header that's like 2 meters or something? I think it takes in 1 or 2 rows. I did say, I think in the last video, that I might use the bio baler. Nah. No, I was not in the mood for doing that at all. I do want to have a play with it at some point. I'm not saying I'm never going to do poplar again. It just needs to be something that, you know, I guess you need to have enough field space that. So I'm just looking at the price of wood chips. So you know, you can get up to nearly £1,000 per 1,000 litres. So there is good money in it, maybe. Thinking about the kind of yield that we got off of here, which you'll see later on, I'm going to put it through the biomass heating plant that we've got, which is going to increase that a little bit more as well. So There is good money in it, but you need to have enough land that you can just put a plot aside and let it grow. I guess the other thing to do would be to tweak things so that maybe at least after the first year, you get a harvest every year. I might have a play with that for something that I'm working on, because that would make them a more viable crop. Which, you know, it's a crop that regrows, and regrowing crops are always nice from you know, if you've got a long-term farm. So yeah, maybe we do that. I don't know. Reversing a dolly trailer is not fun. Actually, one of the nice things about doing it on a forage harvester is it's rear wheel steer, so it's actually easier to reverse. One of the things that you guys always tell me when I am struggling with things with the dolly is attach them to the front of the vehicle, because the steered end obviously moves quicker, which is what's happening here because it's rear wheel steer. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I guess the other answer with a dolly trailer would be if you could use it on a vehicle that was four-wheel steer, because then again the back end would move quickly. But because the problem with attaching it to the front, like people always suggest to me, is to then take it somewhere, you've got to detach it and switch it round, and that's a bit of a faff in my mind. I think I'd rather struggle with reversing it. So yeah, four-wheel steer is definitely the way ahead for some jobs. Actually, there's a tractor that I keep wanting to use that I haven't yet, apart from when it occasionally crops up on contracts, and that's the little Lindner tractor that's base game now. I think it was part of one of the DLCs. I'm not sure if it can have a front loader, but it's a little four-wheel steer tractor, and it's really nice. I've used it on some contracts on the series that I'm doing on Furling for the patrons, and it's a really nice little bit of kit. It's obviously quite low horsepower, so it's not, you know, big farming stuff, but it's fun, and that is sometimes what playing farm sim is about, or should be about, you know. And you have fun how you want to play farm sim, and generally I tend to have fun doing things on a somewhat smaller scale. Yep, so the last video was kind of a clickbaity title, kind of, you know, the beginning of the end, but I think we are at the beginning of the end. So that doesn't mean we're at the end, it means we're at the beginning of the end. So we have a whole lot of harvesting still to do, obviously. We only combined one field in the last video, so we have 3 more to go, which is, you know, it's going to be a couple of videos to get that done. Once we've got all the combining done, then it's all the maize, silage, and then the root crops. So I think there's still a good, you know, I'm just thinking I've got one more video recorded already, and that doesn't finish the combinable crops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I'd say 5 or 6 videos left on this series. So maybe we may be done by the end of May or early June, something like that. Yeah, and then we'll head elsewhere with something different. So first trailer load full, and I think we're about halfway through the field, maybe a little bit more. So we'll detach from the dolly and bring over the Volvo. Yeah, I think we've probably got a good 5 or 6 videos left on here. It is kind of weird that it's getting closer to the end. There was a comment actually from someone saying how they really like playing this map. I think they just found this series later on, and I said, yeah, I've been playing it for ages, and I think the first video might have been nearly a year ago, which is pretty insane. Obviously there was a gap, and there have been periods where I've only been doing 1 video a week on these series. So yeah, it's going to be kind of cool to start fresh, I think. I keep talking about the fact of possible options and stuff. I'm just going to wait until we're much closer to the end, and I'll probably talk to patrons, do some polls and stuff, see where we go. I'm definitely not having as many animals. Definitely not. So the wood chips are going to go in the bunker in front of the biomass heater power plant. Power plant, I think it produces electricity. So yeah, this is probably going to be a bit messy by the end, but they'll all go in eventually. Hopefully they'll go in before we finish. So it's going to be probably, I guess, about October in-game, September, October, before we are into harvesting the root crops. I think we might have got those in quite late, so I'm not entirely sure. It does annoy me that this building doesn't have collisions to stop the wood chips falling through the walls. But, yeah. I know there. I've never looked at whether it's possible to easily add that kind of thing. It would be kind of cool. I don't know. It's an old bit of modding that I've really looked at. But yeah, I'm just going to... I did contemplate putting in a wood chip storage or something like that, but this will work. If it gets a little bit damp, it gets a little bit damp, you know. And we can dry it with the heat from the biomass thing burning wood chips, you know. It's kind of self-sustaining almost. Yeah, I didn't really think about storage when I started recording this video. I was like, oh, the poplars are ready. That'll make a nice little video. Let's get that done. And then I had a trailer full of 250,000 litres, and I was like, yeah, what am I going to do? So, but, you know, from what we were saying earlier, what I was saying earlier, because you're not talking back at the moment, you can in the comments, is, you know, we can get nearly £1,000 per 1,000 litres for this. So that trailer was worth £250,000. Which is pretty good, you know. From not a very big plot of land, that is quite a lot of money. So, you know, you wouldn't get that from any, maybe silage crop there, but there aren't many crops that you could put in a plot of land that small that would yield that much return. So, yeah. That's probably one of the reasons that it takes so long to grow, and also that all the base game kit for harvesting it is like 2 meters wide or whatever, because you can make a lot of cash if you can do it at scale. I don't know if Courseplay would handle the baler. That'd be an interesting question, I guess. Because the baler has to swing, it might not, but you could put it on a course that was endless headlands. I haven't finished watching it, but Ogsy's latest Canadian dairy farm thingy cattle video words. He set up a forage harvesting Courseplay course that was basically all headlands, and that might work for using that baler. I guess the issue is on the corners you might miss stuff, but that might be an option. And then obviously the bales are quite easy to store until the sell price is good. So yeah, might be a thing to do in the future. I guess actually that might work quite well in future decades on the series that's currently on Maypole. It won't be on Maypole by then, but yeah, it might work for that quite well. I had not realised there was so much money in Poplar, but I guess because no one really does. The only person that I've seen do Poplar other than this field, I think Daggerwin might have done it once or twice in the past, but I don't know if generally he plays long enough for it to have grown. Is poor old Kartek, because whenever he asks, what should I plant in this field, everyone says stupid stuff. So, you know, there's a lesson in that for everyone. Maybe we should be telling him to plant canola so he isn't quite so rich. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one, isn't it? Because it's a pain to plant, without a cheaty header, it's a pain to harvest. Boy, is there cash in it. You know, we're up to almost 350,000 litres off of here. That's a third of £1,000,000 off a fairly small plot. I say fairly small, actually, it's quite a big field, but you know, I don't remember what it cost to plant. I don't remember how many poplars we had to put in to get this much land planted. It might have been a lot. I don't remember at all. It was so long ago. Like I said, we were doing this stuff in kind of summer last year, I think. Actual last year in real life. Yeah. I always talk about the fact that I like series to run for a long time. This is probably longer than I like for a typical series. As I was looking back, actually, Maypole started in August last year, when the PC Specialist laptop died and it was off with them being repaired. And we are basically 2 years in what, 9 months? Yeah, 9 months. So, you know, hopefully that's going to pick up the pace as we're doing less Let's Plays. I am going to keep it to kind of the balance I have at the moment. And the Sugarcane series has a couple of videos left to go. And then if I do more of those mini-series type things, I want to get them back to being bonus videos so that we are really focusing on the main Let's Play series and good tutorials. Now, the mini-series Sugarcane, you know, Sugarcane and Grace, they're kind of tutorial-y, but kind of not. So that's my plan. If I don't have ideas for tutorials, there'll probably be more Let's Play videos, or I'll start filtering in another mini-series. But I really want to make progress on all of the Let's Plays. It's been really nice lately getting a couple of videos a week done on these and actually getting through, not just skipping winter and progressing time, but actually playing and progressing time. So it's been very cool. And wow, we are going to be nearly 400,000 litres off of here. Is that 380 at the moment? 385, so 383. Let's call it 384,000 litres of wood chips off of that plot of land. So, you know, £375,000 if we just sold the wood chips. We're going to put them through the heating plant, as I keep saying, so even more. I don't remember how. So I have edited that slightly because the as downloaded version is actually less profitable than just selling them, which is wrong to me. So it has been edited. I don't remember. I didn't make it massively cheaty, but it's, you know, it's going to be an extra 10 or 20%, I think. So yeah. And it's going to take time for it to process that, and you have to do work to process it, which is why I felt it should be profitable, not loss-making, you know. So that production produces electricity. It direct sells the electricity, so it's not going through the generators. If we were putting it through the generators, I wouldn't have done that, because that, you know, does increase the profitability. But nope, we're not doing that. So I think actually, I was going to say in reality, I would probably plow those in now, but I probably wouldn't, seeing how much money we can make off them. What I would want is to be able to harvest them every year. I think that is maybe not. Maybe they're so profitable that you shouldn't. Maybe it should be like every 18 months-ish that you're getting a harvest off them. I don't know. But you know, that was a bit of fun. I'm going to say thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members at this point. I keep mentioning you guys, and yep, appreciate you all supporting the channel. Particularly the three at the elite tier. You guys are pretty awesome. And new people, you are all very cool. And you guys that watch the videos, I value you all. I'm just trying to think what day this video is due to come out on. So hopefully last night I will have been streaming some Terra Life stuff. If I was, then that will be on the channel as well. I think. Depends what Paul I've planned, but yep. That will have been over on Twitch. Hopefully you will have enjoyed it if you came and watched it. So, yeah, I can't believe how much we got off of this. So in the past, I was using the auto-loading belt to do this, to load it into the hopper. With the issues I've had with silage, I don't think I'm going to do that because there's every chance that it will just take every single wood chip as soon as I turn it on and it will be lost. So we're going to go a bit more old school, and we've got the Farsin telehandler that I'm not really using for anything, so that can come over here and take on duty loading up the wood chips. I'm going to buy a new bucket, so I'm going to buy a bigger capacity bucket so that it's a bit quicker. Speaking of quicker, this thing is not quick. So originally I had an edited version of this on here that was faster. So we're going to go for the Breston Lund, my favorite brand of bucket, 4,240 liters. Originally I had an edited version that was faster. I basically gave it the same speed as the non-electric version. But when one of the game updates happened, it was full of errors. And when I had all that mod conflict, all the mod conflict problems on here, I basically binned it and went back to the base game one. And to be honest, since then it's been parked pretty much. Because we brought the JCB telehandler, which is much quicker. Because the main job that this was doing is feeding animals. And some of that involved quite long trips to the, well, quite long. It involved trips across to the sheep pasture and stuff. So it was a bit slow doing it at 9 miles an hour or 8 miles an hour. So yeah, that's why I brought the JCB, because it was much faster. And I'd not really used one before, so that too was it's kind of cool. It's, yeah. So I think this holds about 16,000 litres, and it's one of those jobs where probably once a day I'm going to have to come and put a couple of buckets full of wood chip in. I don't know if this is going to all get processed before the end of the series. If it's not, it'll just be there. So it will just be there. So as I've said, the plan with this series is that we'll just stop pretty much. Some products, some of the production outputs we will sell, but like all of the excess feed and stuff, we'll keep. Because the idea is it's a farm that could continue running, but I'm not going to. Yeah. I did have people ask right at the start about whether I could share the mod list and the save and stuff. At this point, I'm probably not comfortable doing that, because there are mods that I've edited in here, and compiling the mod list would be a bit of a marathon to compile all the download links. If people are really interested, when I start the next series, whatever that will be, then maybe I can plan that with that in mind. Yeah, let me know in the comments. I know there was a lot of interest on this one, so let me know, I guess. Anyway, we are pretty much done, so I am going to say thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. I hope it turns out to be popular. Comments, questions, suggestions below, and I will see you next time on Greenlands.